Let me start by saying, yes, I have made this video before, but it's an important topic, and the previous version was low sound quality, low video quality, so I'm remaking it, and then the original version will be removed. It's about SHTF house fires. Now, in most fires, in fact in all fires, there are 3 elements required. Element 1 is fuel. Fire needs something to burn. Element 2 is oxygen. Without air, there is no way the fire can keep going. And element 3, heat. Without heat, there is no fire. All bushfires, for example, are created by temperatures which get to such a high level that the materials around are very easy to ignite. They reach what they call flash point, where even a spark could ignite them. This is the same in house fires. That can happen. Another common one is an electrical fault. Another common one, and in fact the most common one of all, is cooking left unattended, particularly a chip pan or fry pan, a frying pan of one kind or another. The oil reaches its flash point and goes up the side of the pan. If it spills over onto gas, a gas hob, the oil's that hot that as soon as it touches a flame, it ignites, goes back into the pan, the oil in the pan ignites also. Now, for the second 2 types, what can you do? If you're living in an older wooden house, as soon as you can afford it, get an electrician in to check your wiring. You may be competent with electrics yourself, but it's far better to have the added safety of a professional looking over it. For the cooking, simple. If you're not going to be in the kitchen when you're cooking something that requires oil, what could it light? Then don't cook it until you can remain in the kitchen with it. From these, what precautions can you take to protect your family so you're alerted, woke up if there is a fire? Smoke alarms. Smoke alarms are very useful, but only if you put them in the right places. Don't put one in your kitchen. It'll be going off all the time. Put one in your living room, a little bit away from your kitchen. Put one at the bottom of your stairs, and one at the top of your stairs. The ones on the stairs, have them linked together, so if the bottom one goes off, the one upstairs goes off also. Why is this so important? This is another simple one. The most common cause of death in house fires is not the fire, contrary to belief. It's smoke. Quite often, people who haven't taken the precaution with smoke alarms and aren't awoken by the fire suffocate in their sleep due to inhaling the smoke. So the smoke alarms wake you. What other precautions are there? Keep your mobile phone by your bed. If you have to get out in the middle of the night, you can dial 911. There are fire extinguishers which come in for the home and businesses are in 4 main types. There is water, which traditionally and still is a plain red extinguisher. There is dry powder, which traditionally is a blue cylinder, but now is a red cylinder with a blue square, at least in the UK. There is foam, which traditionally is a cream cylinder, but is now a red cylinder with a cream square. And finally, there is carbon dioxide, which is a black cylinder traditionally, now a red cylinder with a black square. There is also a small extinguisher, what some people keep in their homes, dangerously so, and this is a green cylinder. It is another gas cylinder, but it is either halon or freon. Although some businesses use this in contained areas where as a fire suppression system, when this fire suppression system is activated, these areas are sealed off and made airtight. This is for a very good and simple reason. Both halon and freon are fatal to humans and animals, in fact all breathing creatures on Earth. They are a lot heavier than air, so you go to the floor to avoid the smoke after using a halon extinguisher, and you're breathing in the halon. You die quicker than you would from the smoke. So, because the gas terminally damages your lungs. Now, that's discussing what you shouldn't use in your home. Even though it's a small cheap one you can get at most auto parts stores. Why are they sold at auto parts stores if they're so dangerous? But for your car, if your engine catches fire, pop your hood, activate the extinguisher, throw it in and stand back. Get clear. Inform the fire brigade and the police that you've deployed a halon or freon extinguisher in the engine, so they know not to approach in the case of the police, or to approach with breathing apparatus in the case of the fire brigade. The other extinguishers, what are they for? Water is for solid fuel and paper only. Don't use it on oil. All you'll do is create a fireball. Don't use it on electrical. You'll have very spiky hair and a not very nice experience if you get shocked. Dry powder. This is a universal fire extinguisher. You can use it on any type of fire. Its weakness, it causes a lot of mess, but then again, not as much as a fire does. Foam. This is a water-based foam, so don't use it on electricals or you'll get just the same shock as you would from water. But you can use it on oil, which is its main target fire, because it forms a film that smothers the oil fire. It keeps the air from the fire, thus stopping it burning. finally, CO2. This can be used on solid fuel, oil, and electrical fires. However, it cannot be used on paper fires. Now, I've told you a little bit about what the extinguishers are for. Let me talk about the reality of them. They aren't for putting out fires. In a waste paper basket, a small fire, certainly, but they are there to facilitate your safe escape and nothing more. They can't hold enough to put out anything more than a trash can sized fire. If you empty one extinguisher, you're not going to do anything. So they facilitate your escape. They help you clear a route out of the fire, through the fire, to get to an exit. If you're trapped in a room with a fire, where the windows won't open because of safety locks, they can be used to facilitate your escape. Hell, windows locked, the fire's there, it'll just rush in on me if I open the door. Easy. A fire extinguisher is a big chunk of iron. Smash that window with it. Break the shards so you don't put yourself to shreds as you and your family climb out. One way to safety. Now, what else can you do to prepare for the worst, even while hoping for the best? When there is a fire, there is smoke, this much is obvious, but you're at zero visibility. Practice your escape routes from your home blindfolded. You may feel stupid doing this, but if you're crawling around blindfolded finding your escape routes, they become second nature to you. So when you can't see in pitch black smoky conditions, you know your way out, even though you can't see it. You know it by feel, by direction, by sense. Preferably upstairs if you can afford it. Get one window fitted that is a broad window, a tilt and turn PVC window, where if you put it on the tilt setting, it opens a little bit to let air in, but on the turn setting, the whole window opens out. Now, why is this? If you're trapped upstairs in a wooden house and you have a window like that, you can throw your mattress out the window to give a relatively soft landing if you have to jump for safety. This will reduce injuries. Right, so you've got your family outside. What do you do now? If you're in the middle of three houses, say, a row of houses, all wood but all joined, or even all brick but all joined, knock on your neighbours' doors, warn them. Well, get your kids to do that, or you phone 911 or 999 or 555 or whatever the number is in your country. Why do this? My neighbours will have already called called the emergency services from all the commotion. You don't know that. The fire brigade would rather have too many calls than none. So think about yourselves, think about your neighbours. Oh no, I left Rover in the house, in his room in the back. I'll have to go in and get him. No. Pets are family members, but at the end of the day, they're animals. The second most common cause of death in fires is people who go back in. If you go back in to rescue a pet, no matter how loved it is, you will probably cost your own life as well as the pet's. If the pet is in a sealed room, there is a slim chance it may survive the fire if the fire brigade are contacted quickly, as it will be low to the floor, only being a small animal, and that means it will have more air there. So think of your family's lives, think of your own life, think safety first. I hope a house fire never occurs to anybody who watches this, but I hope people listen to this advice, work on it, and if it ever happens, that this has been a help to them and saves lives. That is the only reason why I've re-recorded it, and the reason why I come on YouTube, to educate, to help. So see you later, and thanks for your time.